Time check on Tobago updates is brought to you by Flow, Tobago's newest fiber network.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video call, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
This Christmas we celebrate it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. Today is Monday, the 18th of December 2023. Yes, we have a few more days for Christmas and this is the day that the Lord has made and I will rejoice and be glad in it. I am Adana Kambi.
Good morning to each and every one of you. Those connecting with us out there right here in Tobago, those of you in Trinidad, within the region and the world at large. Good morning to each and every one of you as we continue to give God thanks for life. I'm Julian Skeet and it's the Christmas week. Happy to be here with you indeed as we continue to take you through all the updates and all the happenings. Well, in Christmas week, it's more like the events and the activities, Adana. It's Monday morning.
That's
that
right.
kind of starts
That's
to
right.
your week. And there's that level of excitement, even if it's a work week, simply because we are heading into Christmas.
That's right. Of course, the excitement really is building. The weekend was full with activities, and of course, there will be more activities this week leading right up to Christmas Day. Just over the weekend, the Victory Outreach Church, where I attend, we celebrated our 28th anniversary, you know, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out to help us celebrate. And our theme was dancing in God's goodness, and God has been good, and it's a time to celebrate the goodness of God. So we just want to give God thanks and praise for life, that we are here, we can celebrate, we can spend time with our loved ones, you know. So it really is a beautiful festive time in Trinidad and Tobago and across the globe, because everybody is celebrating Christmas. They're busying themselves, they're getting the ham. Those who haven't had the ham yet, I hear people asking about pastels. So if you're looking for your pastels, make sure you find the right pastel person, because everybody have their specific taste. As far as I'm aware, I'm not a lover of pastel, but I understand that there are specifics in terms of your pastel. So, you know, people busying themselves getting things together as it relates to Christmas.
Ultimately, it makes two of us. I'm not a lover of pastel either. I will have it. I will eat, you know, and enjoy. But I'm not really a lover of pastel. Give me my ham. Give me my very basics with some chow chow.
That's right. Have to have the chow chow.
That is, you know, I see the things going around on social media. What makes that Christmas for you? That's one of the factors.
Yes.
I mean, outside of, you know, really being able to give thanks, and for me, it's usually a whole period for reflection. And so moving from the Christmas season, you know, straight into the new year and kind of giving thanks. But beyond that element, when we get to the actual on the day items and the seasonal items, in fact, I say on the day, and folks, just to give you a quick idea, what I mean is just after midnight. We don't wait till breakfast.
That's right.
Yeah. As you're going over that move there, and you might have now been finishing up things in the house. Yeah, that's when I go down on that, sit down and relax with that hops and ham. You know, certainly looking forward to that experience. All right, viewers, just as you're all thinking about your very own Christmas experience out there, feel free to share it with us here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show as we head on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 18th December 2023, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Former Chief Secretary and political leader of the Tobago Council of PNM, Ansel Dennis, accused the THA administration of victimization. Dennis claimed he is entitled to gratuity and pension since leaving office in December 2021, but is yet to receive it. Despite approval being granted in August 2023, he said that the Executive Council failed to confirm the decision, causing frustration. And Dennis alleged he received no answers when he attempted to follow up with the Assembly legislator. He demanded transparency and a timely resolution of the matter. Tobago President Beverly Ramsey Moore is appealing to corporate TNT for the financial support of steel bands. She recalls a loss of sponsorship since the restructuring of Petrotrin 5 years ago, urging corporate bodies to invest in steel bands. Ramsey Moore comments were in response to Motown Pan Theatre manager Ralph Sobers, who lamented the lack of sponsorship after 52 years. The Pan body plans to reintroduce regional championships in 2024 and expresses hope for increased prize money in 2025. The National Panorama Competition preliminary rounds concludes with results expected today. And finally, the Trinidad and Tobago government has renewed the contract of Central Bank Governor Alwyn Hilaire for a third term. Despite critics claiming he is a puppet of Finance Minister Colin Imbert, Hilaire, serving for 8 years, initially became governor in 2015. In 2020, he advocated for public vetting central bank appointments for greater accountability, emphasizing transparency and regular explanations to the public. Under his leadership, the central bank executed demonetization of cotton-based notes during the pandemic and focused on financial literacy, digital currencies, and increasing financial inclusion, calling for reduced bureaucracy in opening bank accounts. And that was your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
News in 90 seconds was brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
This Christmas we celebrate it. Cause B-Mobile they come with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prizes. Cause this season will be done nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parang. Having a Christmas season with me mobile. I want a Christmas season with me mobile. Bring the sorrel with us to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with me mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Tobago Christmas. Be mobile. Life is on.
Good morning, viewers. We're just at about 7:04 a.m. this morning, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. It's that season, and I want to take the time out to send out some congratulations as well over the course of the weekend. A number of these initiatives taking place. Kudos, as I've seen a couple of those Christmas parties, and these are the ones that I describe. They are paid for by others in the Christmas spirit and delivered by your area representatives. Certainly enjoying those events and parties. You see, I don't just want to say that they're free because they might be free to you, but somebody has got to pay. But certainly to ensure that our children are enjoying this season. I see that we have a number of those taking place, and I want to say kudos and congratulations going out in terms of really ensuring that in the mix of it all, you ensure that you find some funds or sponsorship or the support to ensure that our children are able to continue to enjoy this season. So commendations going out there. I also had the opportunity, Adana, on Saturday night to make it to the Botanical Gardens. Amazing experience, you know, and I want to really extend congratulations. Went with the entire family, and the experience in terms of being there, the lights, the activities, the meal, the music, I mean, it really brought together very nicely. It's something that we have traditionally done each year, and certainly I want to say what I've seen now is a welcome addition, building on what I already taught up to years ago. Was a great experience, heading on out, the excitement of the lights. Now the added activity is definitely a plus. No pressure at all. You know, folks, that this therefore means this has to continue. That's and therefore you build on what already exists. I want to say commendations to all the organizers out there, Secretary Natisha Charles Pantin, the entire team, the reforestation team out there, Didan Daniel and his entire team. Excellent initiative happening there at the Botanical Gardens. Really that kind of moment to enjoy the season. Adana, you need to make it out this week.
I know. I've been committing myself. I have to commit myself to going because I keep promising, and this week is the week.
Yes,
this week is the week, because I've been hearing all the reviews, just as you have reviewed this morning. I've been hearing all the reviews, and it sounds so glorious. It sounds like something that it's an experience rather than an event. You know, and I want to have that experience as well. Yes. So I will be there, definitely.
Commendations. And we're heading straight on into our birthday shout-outs. Birthday shout-outs today.
All right, celebrating a belated birthday is Mr. Alex Ned. Alex Ned had a birthday past couple of days, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Mr. Alex Ned. Waterholic.
Oh, yes.
That's the guy there. That's the guy there.
And continuing to really represent us out there, providing that tourism and hospitality kind of speaks. It's about an experience.
That's right. So happy birthday to you.
All right, and we have birthday shout-outs going out to Natalia Nancis, and this is a belated birthday greeting going out to Natalia Nancis. We want to wish you a happy birthday coming from the entire Tobago Updates family, and we trust that you continue to enjoy the birthday celebrations straight on into Christmas.
Right. I want to take this up. Yes, Julian, I want to take this opportunity to say good morning to all our viewers who are online right now. You know, we're talking about Oliver Mudenda, watching all the way from Zambia in South Africa. All of our new subscribers and our new viewers from Africa, Netherlands, Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica. You know, I just want to welcome all of you guys and thank you so much for subscribing to our channels and for viewing us, for choosing us as your morning program. You know, we welcome you. Everybody who's currently on the live, of course, Robert McKenzie there on YouTube from Jamaica. I want to say good morning to you, Charlotte Ramsey Roberts. I want to say good morning to you.
And Charlotte is one of those faithful. Being there with us from very early.
That's right.
Good morning to you, Charlotte, and the entire family.
That's right.
I also see in the mix there we have Rhea Francis, Edward Jones, another faithful supporter from very early, Pearl Murray Beard.
Yes.
But certainly she's on the dignitary listed.
That's right.
For Tobago Updates, similar to others continuing to lend that support, and certainly we continue to thank each and every one of you for that continued love and support, and for choosing us each and every day, even on your Christmas week.
That's right.
When I know you have so many things happening in that house and beyond, but certainly still taking the time out to connect with us here at the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Let me take the opportunity to also send my commendations up to the Rotary Club of Southwest Tobago, the Interact Club of Southwest Tobago, and the Rotaract Club of Tobago. Again, another one of these NGOs hosting their hamper Christmas distribution that would have taken place over the weekend, the annual event. And this year, that's an annual event hosted by Interact Southwest Tobago and Rotary Southwest Tobago. And on this occasion in 2023, the Rotaract Tobago also joined in with toys. So in addition to food stuff and all commission with toys, still have an appreciation for what it means to receive a gift, even if my circumstances are a challenging one. So certainly commendations going out there to this NGO and all others that continue to do great work in this season. My reminder to all, as you receive your blessings in this season and beyond, remember to give a little to someone in need. Just give a little to someone in need.
Right, of course, you heard that. I encourage you to hear. Who are we speaking with this morning, Julian? This morning we start our conversation off with Barrington Skippy Thomas, political activist and our Vox Populi host, and he's talking about the THA administration 2 years later. So we're having that conversation to start. Speak with Mahalia Bakker. She's an inspector of the TTPS, Trinidad and Tobago Police Services, and of course a regular updates from the TTPS. She's bringing that for us, and safety practices at home for Christmas. We're going to have that as well. And then we round our conversations with Christopher Nathan. He is the CEO of Cocoa Velvet International and director of Making Style program. And he's gonna bring for us some updates on the Miss Tobago 2024 beauty pageant. Yes, that's happening. So we're gonna have that conversation as well. So this is how our show is shaping for you guys this morning. So we ask that you stay with us as we bring this information to you. And of course, we're gonna go for a short break before we continue. And this is, of course, is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Suffering with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We been drinking with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. Sign up now for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory. At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. It's the Monday before Christmas. In fact, it's that 1 week countdown to the Christmas celebration for 2023. And just before we head on into this first interview, shout outs this morning to Selma Lashley, Portia John Charles, and Desmond Denzo. And in fact, Desmond is watching us live from Cape Coast in Ghana. Good morning to you and welcome, Lisa James and all others out there. Good morning to each and every one. Up morning show. At this point, viewers, we're heading on into our first interview this morning with Barrington Skippy Thomas, and we're speaking to THA administration 2 years later. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. All right, I suspect there might be some technical challenges there. Are you hearing us, Barrington Skippy Thomas? All right, no, I suspect he's not hearing us just yet. So we'll try to ensure that we correct that connection accordingly. But most certainly, we want to also shout out this morning Otis Nixon in the mix. Adana, what is on your lineup for this week? Let's just drop that in very quickly there. Well, I know we can't take the whole week. But what's one of those key things that you're hoping to be able to achieve this week?
You know, the last minute cleaning up and packing back and getting stuff ready and, getting the house looking spruced up.
Yes,
that definitely is high up on the list. So that might happen today as we speak. It might probably be ongoing at the moment, and when I get there, I'll continue. But that is really high up on the list. I also have a few activities to attend this week. On Thursday, some youths from my church, Victory Outreach Church, the Victorious Generation of Destiny, they are hosting a Christmas village. Nice. Right, they're hosting a Christmas Village as an outreach program where they're going to go into the communities and the community of Sangster, that is, and just reach the community there. And of course, they're going to have their vending booths during the day and entertainment, parang music, giveaways, and stuff like that. So that's one of the primary things I'm doing as well this week because I'm one of the coordinators as one of the youth leaders in our church. So that is high up on my list as well. And of course, just passing by my auntie and see what's going on there, seeing how far the ham is, the ham done bake, the bread done bake, just walking around and checking to see what's happening in the homes of other people as well this week. And of course, a trip to the botanics. I must make it this week.
Ensure that you have that definitely in the lineup and taking place. Again, folks, you will have your activities lined up for this week, most definitely. I saw in the news, interesting enough, well, not very much of a surprise for me, the business chamber indicating, that the business is indicating that the sales, as anticipated, is not necessarily as high. I wonder if it's really the wait for this week as the final rush and the push to get it all done, or whether or not it is a genuine situation and circumstance that we just don't have. We just don't have the excesses that we enjoyed in years gone by, and therefore we are forced to reduce what might be that normal kind of spending. I don't know. Do you think we're going to have that last minute rush this week?
I know for certain that I still have to do some last minute rushes. So I might be one of those in the last minute rush. But I don't know what percentage of last minute rushes we would have and how it will affect or impact the status quo right now in terms of the sales, the anticipated sales and what is happening. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of trying to assess the situation because I go out there and I see people shopping. Yes. But I suppose from their perspective, they will have statistics and they will be able to make, references in terms of last year and previous years. So I don't know what is happening there. Let's see what will happen this week. We have until, let's say, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday to do some shopping. So let's see how it turns out by then. Hopefully, people are able to go out and get the stuff. Unless people are shopping online, I don't know if they are shopping online. And talking about shopping online, there are wars because I hear people are talking about, oh my gosh, my package can't reach on time, or, customs or whatever the case is. The online wars are also there. So I'm hoping that people will be able to go out, shop, get the stuff they need, especially the toys for the children, on Christmas Day. So here's to hoping the situation improves. And I really hope it's not that we don't have, because I really like to know that people have. So let's see how it goes.
Yes, and I also want to send some commendations out there. The lighting and happenings weren't only taking place here, in Scarborough, but it also took place up at Roxborough Hospital. As far as we can see, based on our updates, the tree lighting that took place up at Roxborough, and again, commendations. Most certainly, we saw a coming together there of officials, management, and staff of the Roxborough Health Facility. And you know, it's particularly commendable for the fact that this is a relatively new piece, and by new I mean it was built for some time and then eventually operationalized. But more importantly now, there's a usage of this piece, and therefore seeing the need to take that time out in the mix. You know, the very vibrant medical chief of staff up on that end, Dr. Nathaniel Duke, Dr. Faith B. Israel, Deputy Chief Sec and Secretary with Responsibility, and the entire team. Certainly, again, commendations in the mix of the profession, still bringing that Christmas spirit. And, you know, I really look forward to seeing that throughout some of those spaces with essential services. For the simple fact, whether it's the hospital or wherever you may be, for those who have no choice but to spend the season there because of their health circumstances, we still want them to have that spirit and that feel of Christmas. And I'm certain that they will look forward to that coming together with those members of staff.
That's right. I was just
who
about
will
to say.
also be spending their time, you know, as essential workers in the service. So again, we want to say kudos and commendations going out there to our healthcare workers and, you know, those in our armed forces and so on that continue to deliver service and to give the very best. Even on Christmas Day, they give up being with their families to ensure that they continue to provide, and so that our services do not shut down altogether. So commendations, we're shouting out this morning, all those essential workers that continue to be on the outside, whether it's Christmas Day, New Year's Day, whatsoever the season, they're on the outside. All right, viewers, at this point, back with us to head into our first interview this morning, Barrington Skippy Thomas joining us online. Let's see if we better off now with the connection. Good morning to you, sir.
Hi, good morning, good morning.
Excellent. So we're hearing you loud and clear at the moment.
Yes.
Welcome. And you know, this morning you're sitting on the other side, and by that I simply mean a political activist. And we know you are usually hosting here at Tobago Updates, but giving your perspective now from that you know, of the interviewee on the other end. As we get the conversation started, you know, we want to get that general perspective in the first instance. What would you say, if you have to define it in one statement, were your hopes and aspirations or expectations of a new administration coming into office after what would have been a period of leadership by the former administration?
Well, there are some very low-hanging fruits. And it would seem to me that those low-hanging fruits ought to have been achieved. What are the measurables? I think 2 years after, generally, the feeling is that nobody knows.
All right. So therefore, we diving straight on in. It is 2 years into this current administration. We would have seen what we can broadly define as the assignment of the relevant portfolios. Let's start there. Based on the skill sets that exist within, what's your assessment of the individuals that have been assigned in the respective areas to collectively drive this mandate, led by Chief Secretary, the Honorable Fali Chavez Augustine?
Well, my thoughts on the skill set generally is that for matters of politics, what is really required is that people are voted. So it would seem to me that the skill set for driving administrations is really that of the technocrats, and the politicians lead by policy. I don't know, but I move around very often and people speak to me, and there seems to be a level of dissatisfaction. I don't think it's because of the skill set of the politicians. I rather suspect it might be related to the support of the technocrats. But for whatever reason best known to them, generally people seem to be dissatisfied. That is what they are telling me.
What are some of the things you're hearing as definite highlights, at least one or two, that as you identify that there's dissatisfaction with out there?
People are not of the view that their quality of lives are better 2 years after.
You mentioned that the politicians lead by policy. In your opinion, have you seen that leadership guided by policy from the politicians?
Well, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the policies. I'm really not seeing the rollout. So surely there's a problem somewhere.
Baroness Skippy Thomas, would you say that they've underestimated somewhat the circumstances? Now, this administration came in on the mantra of let me fix this in terms of identifying many concerns and issues far and wide in Tobago, which certainly the Tobago population agreed with. Would you say that certainly that it may have been a case of underestimating the extent of the challenges? Or would you say that 2 years ultimately one can only do so much to try to correct some of the issues? What's your perspective?
This administration is faced with the Herculean task of familiarity 1, obstruction is 2, and persons 3 who are so entrenched in the system right there in Tobago that those persons who are entrenched in the system have not been able to distinguish the fact that this is a new administration. So there seem to be some obstruction. But if there are obstructions, and those obstructions are preventing or harassing the rollout of the Executive Council's policy, then those things can be remedied and very simple. And I suspect they're not being remedied because if I have to borrow the quotation of what many people said to me, perhaps the secretaries are not insisting on their policies after the obstruction and so, because might be really a group of Bishopians leading in policy and a group of Bishopians executing as the technocrats. So maybe the familiarity between the politicians and the technocrats is what is haunting them and causing the disquiet as it exists 2 years after.
What would you therefore identify as some of the tough decisions that needs to be made? Midway in the term, 2 years have gone, and on paper we say 2 years left, but in politics, you know, ultimately it's not 2 years given that you go into that election mode, not 2 full years, I should say. What would you say at this point are some of the critical changes that need to be made in order to give that clear signal or to make that change so as to continue to positively impact Tobago, so that Tobago benefits?
While it is not for me to advise a chief secretary, but insofar as you have asked the question, the chief secretary need to run his executive by giving very clear instructions to his secretaries regarding rollout of projects and policies and programs and so, and set timelines. And I don't want to use the term punish, but set timelines and hold the secretaries accountable to the timelines he have set.
It's 2 years after, 2 years later. In all fairness and assessment-wise, do you think that 2 years is sufficient to make demarcation as to the progress, considering all the challenges or whatever was left for them to fix it? Coming to where we are now, is 2 years a sufficient time, and is even 4 years sufficient? And as Julian mentioned earlier, it's not a full 4 years because you go into that campaign mode before you complete your 4 years. So essentially, you have just about 3 and something years to do what you have set out to do. Is it sufficient time to, you know, correct the things and then to implement your policies, your programs, your initiatives that would bring the level of change that we're hoping for, especially as a new administration?
Well, if we have to use some international benchmarks, the Singaporean model with Lee Kuan Yew, the Canadian model with Justin Trudeau, my answer to that is yes, because let me put it this way also. It was the politicians who set the timeline for the people during the election. Okay, I accept that the other side of the fence during the campaign, they may not understand the reality of what the challenges are. But you see that vote, that election day, is a contract between the people and the politicians. And when you set policies, from the platform, the expectation of the people are going to be very high. And it will not be an excuse politically to say we only had 3.5 years to perform. And that's the reality of the politics. And this executive council has an advantage by having a very large control over the assembly. So what they need to do to deal with the obstructions and roll out the projects, if executive council minutes seem to be not sufficient, then take your executive council minutes to be further adopted by the assembly legislature, the assembly chamber, and take a firm position against the technocrats. That it is so it's not secretary this position or secretary that instruction. It is the assembly that have adopted and made a firm decision that this must be done, this must be done, this must be done. And the remedies you have to deal with that is to refer those public servants who are derelict in duty to the Public Service Commission for disciplinary action. So there are remedies. So to hide behind excuses after giving commitment to say 3.5 years was not enough, that excuse will fail.
How do you respond to the view? Because you're relating a situation which, according to my research, many say seems very similar to what took place. Of course, some are probably too young to remember. But as for someone being in the politics, some are saying these are the similar kinds of challenges that were faced after coming out of what might have been the Hochoi Charles and others' tenure for just about 20 years or so, before the transition to what would have been in 2001, the Orville London-led administration, facing similar kinds of challenges. Are you saying, what are your perspectives when you make the comparison? They start then with Orville London and probably the challenges faced by some of the same technical officers who might have been faithful to or thankful to, the former administration, probably attempting to frustrate the efforts. What are your thoughts when you make the comparison between this current administration startup now and the Orville London-led administration startup then at that time?
The comparison really is, this is a young, energetic group of politicians that got the full will of the people, and so was Orville London. But when you look at the deliveries of the London administration, can one argue? And that's a very interesting question. When you look at the deliverables of the London administration, can it be argued that he was frustrated by the technocrats? In fact, some of, if not most of the technocrats who have raised political objection to the London administration, they have a bite of the cherry now. They are mostly in the executive council now.
So ultimately, you see part of the challenge as dealing with the issue where there might be technocrats within the system who are attempting to frustrate or certainly contribute to challenging the progress that the administration is attempting to make?
Yes, I verily believe that. But I'm saying that will not work as an excuse for this executive, as much as people may know it. You see, because the reality is that politics is our people's business, is our people's lives, is our people's development, is our people's future, is our people's comfort, is our people generally. And so too much hope was invested in this administration. And on that basis, they will not be able to rely on the frustration of the technocrats. I think they are large in numbers and can sufficiently deal with that issue.
Would you say there's a fear probably to take some of the decisive decisions as it relates to whether or not you have persons that can drive your mandate or that are indeed moving in that direction? And I make the comparison. It was the Honorable Keith Rowley as Prime Minister that gave indications that once his administration was back in office, that he would be making changes, for example, with the Ministry of Tobago Development reverting, and without hesitation, he got into office. That was done. Would you see appear on the part of this administration to probably take some of those more decisive actions, which may mean making some major changes. And can that still be done 2 years in? It seems like he's frozen there in terms of we're not getting a clear connection. But you know, very interesting. He's alluding to the fact that there appears to be challenges coming out from in terms of technocrats and those within the system. And you know, the question I raised in relation to the Orville London-led administration is because I feel like ultimately when you do your checks and you do your research and so on, I feel as though Orville London faced similar challenges at the start in 2001, because here it is. If you know the politics any at all, he came into a situation where it was felt that the PNM would never sit in the seat of governance in Tobago. And he was able to lead the charge to bring that victory in 2001 after Tobago for its entire prior period, would have been led you know, by others accordingly. And therefore, ultimately, you know, he would have faced similar challenges. The question at this point is finding ways to be able to overcome.
That's right.
You've got to find ways to be able to overcome, because really and truly, when I asked the question, and I know he probably understood it a little differently, and I take responsibility for that, but it was really that comparison with the startup period in 2001 of the Orville London administration and the startup period now of the Farley Augustine-led administration in 20 that started last year,
and how
2 years ago.
How do you take the reins? How do you take the reins to overcome and to implement and to ensure the execution, so that you can keep, you know, you can keep the governance the way it's supposed to be led for, as he said, for the comfort of the people of Tobago, the people who elected you for this position? How do you rein in the situation and ensure that you remain in control of it, to ensure that you execute in a way that is acceptable by the people? Because he's talking about people saying they're dissatisfied. So how do you overcome that challenge? That was my next question. What do you do? How do you approach the situation, and how long is it going to take? How soon do you rein in and ensure that you deliver what you promise to deliver to the people?
Because the reality is, I am yet to see a politician that delivers on all the promises that they've made. And it doesn't matter where you sit.
On the globe.
You know, on the globe, in fact. So for me, we have a responsibility to hold them accountable to deliver most in some way, form, or fashion.
That's right.
And I feel as though, ultimately as well, for some, like any new administration, the test of time for many is really looking at the next election to see if they are able to retain, or if it is that there will be a reverting on the part of the people of Tobago, and then we may begin to see some kind of a change and action. Again, people felt that after 2001 with Orville London, that it was going to be a one-term. Right, and then he showed his stability to be able to allow the organization and to allow the party to retain its status and therefore continue in office for 20 plus years, certainly making commendations in that regard. So it's really left to see, and I feel that's the views of some. This is the first term. Yes, they know that you can't fix everything, but as Skippy rightfully said, they want to see some low-hanging fruit, things dealt with. And certainly that's the responsibility of any administration in office. So it's going to be a very interesting time heading on in. I feel like January is going to be the kicking off of, or not even kicking off, it's going to be the continuation of the campaign season. I'm watching over the weekend and I'm seeing some of the events and happenings at the national level that's live, and then I'm reminded, oh yes, Julian, it's actually a general election and a Tobago House of Election, Tobago House of Assembly election, side by side, flowing there in 2025. So interesting times ahead. Adana, who do we have up next in the lineup?
Right up next and in studio is Christopher Nathan. Christopher Nathan is up next. He is the CEO of Velvet International and the director of Making Style program. He is up next, and we're talking about updates for Miss Tobago 2024 beauty pageants.
Certainly looking forward to hearing all about that. All right, viewers, at this point we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. Anna Combi, and we continue conversations with our guest in studio, and we're speaking to Mr. Christopher Nathan. And Christopher Nathan is the CEO of Cocoa Velvet International, as well as the director of Making Style program. We are talking about Miss Tobago 2024 beauty pageant. Good morning, Mr. Nathan, and welcome.
Good morning to you, Adana, and good morning to Tobago. It's nice to be here again.
Right, and it's nice to have you. We're talking about Miss Tobago 2024 beauty pageant. Tell us a little bit about the pageant and where we are currently.
Okay, so the pageant now is in the training stage, and we have 14 delegates from communities across Tobago training for the semi-finals, which will be held on the 21st of January at the Terrace Comfort Inn and Suite Hotel on Orange Hill Road. So these young ladies are amazing women. I'm really, really happy with them. They're receiving training twice or three times a month from Giselle Laurent West, Miss World 1986,
awesome.
who has retired, and she's now working with Cocoa Velvet as a senior consultant. So we've engaged her to come to Tobago to get the to train the delegates. And what better training can you get than a previous Miss World winner?
That's right, that's right.
So
that's
the
right.
delegates are receiving training such as deportment, corporate etiquette, social etiquette, communication skills development particularly, because we want them to be comfortable when they're doing interviews and when they're doing the intelligence segment. We found that a lot of the pageants, one of the weak areas has been the delegates speaking and handling the intelligence segment. So a lot of focus is on that. We also have Ricia Ali Lindo, who is a communications specialist at the THA division of the economy, finance and the economy. And she is doing a lot of work with the delegates in terms of communication skills, public speaking. I am handling the walking and the fashion presentation part, where they show their evening gown. And I want to talk a little bit about that because we want to have a designer challenge here in Tobago. We want to find 9 dressmakers or seamstresses in Tobago who make evening gowns or graduation gowns or wedding gowns, etc., to participate in a designer challenge for the best evening gown prize at Miss Tobago Beauty Pageant. So those of you out there who have the skill and talent, I know they're out there, please contact us at Cocoa Velvet International. Either send us an email at cocovelvetinternational@gmail.com or send us a WhatsApp at 620-2316. That's 620-2316. And you may be selected to be part of that designer challenge where you vie for the best evening gown prize at the finals. Now, before we go to the finals, we have the 14 delegates vying for 9 spaces in the finals. So only 9 will be going forward. And that pageant will be happening on the 21st of January at the Terrace in Comfort Inn and Suite. And we're also going to have a Tobago Top Model contest.
Ooh.
Yes, because when I went to the secondary schools to recruit participants for the Tobago Youth Creative Arts Workshop, the response was overwhelming. And 350 students came forward who were interested in careers in the creative
Tobago.
industries. Yes.
Wow.
Amazing. And of them, most of them wanted to be models. So we decided that Cocoa Velvet International is now established here in Tobago. We are building our headquarter office on Orange Hill Road in Scarborough. And we have clients from all over the world who use our services. So we are trying to position Tobago now as a fashion center where designers will come here to do their catalogs, do their photo shoots for their cards, etc., and have fashion shows as well. So we want to have a cast of models here in Tobago so that we don't have to bring models in from Trinidad as we have been doing in the past when we have jobs here in Tobago. Apart from that, our marquee events, so that is one of them, Making Style. We want to be hosting in Tobago on a regular basis, and we want to have all the services required: makeup artistry, hairstyling, fashion photographers, production coordinators right here in Tobago, and that's the reason for the workshop that we're having. So these young people who are between 12 and 19, even though they're quite young, they're quite talented. They have a lot of natural talent. So some of them are going to be vying for international modeling contracts. And on the screen now, you are seeing some of the models who were developed by Cocoa Velvet, who are now working out of Paris, New York, London, and Milan for top designers like Yves Saint Laurent, Christian Dior, Ralph Lauren, Versace, Prada, etc. This is Crystal Noriega, who is one of the judges for Top Model Trinidad and Tobago. So she will be coming to Tobago to select the winner for contracts with Elsa Exclusive Look. Crystal was Top Model winner in 2010, and then she participated in the Elite Model Look World Finals in Shanghai, China for Trinidad and Tobago. And she won a contract, so she worked with Elite Model Management in New York, and she's now based between London, New York, Germany, and Paris.
Wow, so doing great work there at Cocoa Velvet, of course, being the springboard for talent in Trinidad and Tobago and exposing our people to the wider world at large.
And now our focus is on Tobago.
All right, and I'm now about to say we're bringing it home to Tobago, now giving Tobago an opportunity, of course. As you said, there were 14 semi-finalists vying for 9 Tobago communities across Tobago, vying for this position, and the age group again is?
Well, the delegates have to be 16 years.
16,
the minimum
to
16 to 26, because we have to follow the standard for Miss World.
That's
because
right.
Remember, the plan is for them to go all the way to Miss World.
Right.
So they are between 16 and 20 and 25.
Okay.
Our delegates.
Awesome. And the training, I want to talk about.
Yes, there we are. So I am training some young people for Top Model Trinidad and Tobago last show. And
so this is Top Model here on screen?
Yes, that's Top Model. And you see how tall they are? Because I am taller. I'm 6'1", and they're taller than me. So we have found 8 young ladies here in Tobago who have that international potential, and they're now receiving training for international modeling career. Now, one of the problems we have encountered here in Tobago is a reluctance from the parents to allow their children to follow careers in the creative industries, particularly fashion and beauty. And that's something I want to talk about because there's a lot of stigma attached to the beauty industry and the fashion industry still. And the parents feel that their children will get exploited, they will end up being sex slaves, they will be trafficked, and all these things. I want to assure the parents we have 130 students right now in the training program, and I want to assure you parents that Cocoa Velvet manages the careers of these models even when they have gone away. We continue to be their mother agency. I am their mother agent, and whenever they travel to New York, London, Paris, Milan, or wherever, we continue to manage their careers. So it's not as if we train them and send them off and that's it.
And what is the management of the career like? Because a lot of people would like to have that kind of education to be a little bit more comfortable.
Indeed.
As you said.
Indeed. So as the mother agent, first of all, long ago, models used to work really. And now there are international labor laws, so models cannot work before they're 18 years, which I applaud and I'm happy for. Because I think under that age, there is an opportunity for exploitation. So some of our models started working at 16 and 17, but we made sure that their mother went with them. So they had a chaperone in Paris, in New York, and London, and Milan. And wherever the model went for jobs, the mother went with them. Now, because they are 18 years old, they continue on their own. We've seen pictures of the last top model winner, that's Sarah Jane Jones, with Wendy Fitzwilliam and an international representative from IMG Model Management, giving her a contract for international work. So as the model gets selected for the agency, say IMG Model Management, I, as the model agency, work with the representing agency to ensure that the model is taken care of. They have a booker assigned to them, which is like the manager, and whatever job they have to do, the booker will take care of them while they're away. When they go on jobs, they go with them to the job until they learn the ropes after a few seasons and they're able to handle themselves.
But is there any sort of support or any kind of training or any sort of consultation you do with the model before they leave in terms of what to look for, what type of red flags, what type of things they should be concerned about or questions they should raise?
Yes, absolutely. So the professional fashion modeling course is part of the workshop that the young people are doing now. So the ones who are interested in modeling internationally are going through a full program of training so that when they finish, they have the knowledge and the necessary information to make decisions when they go on their own. So they will know when something is wrong. If, for example, they go on a shoot and there was no plan for them to do a nude shoot, and the photographer asks them to take off their clothes, for example, they will know to say no and put on their clothes and leave the shoot one time. So that's the kind of training we are giving them to ensure that they are well equipped when they go abroad. This is Naomi Chinwing, our most successful model from Trinidad and Tobago. She was with IMG Model Management on a global international contract with their offices in New York, London, Paris, Milan, LA, and Sydney, Australia. So she has worked for like 350 of the fashion shows. We call them Fashion Week. For designers, top designers. In 2 years' time, she did that. It's amazing.
Now, I know you're calling all these different destinations, all the different countries for these jobs. And it might sound very exciting and people might want to get into it. But I mean, with everything, with all the highs, there must be some level of challenges. What are some of the challenges that the models would have to overcome or be able to bear while they're doing, because a lot of traveling, a lot of changes, a lot of, what are some of the things they have to learn to manage?
Well, for one thing, they have to be healthy and fit because, for example, Naomi Chinwing, when she's doing the fashion season, it starts, they have the spring-summer collections over a month period, and then the fall-winter collections. And they start in New York, and after a week of shows, the models fly to London. And then they do a week of shows, and then they go to Milan, and then they go to Paris. And that's a lot of flying. So the models have to be healthy. So once again, those who are interested in top model Trinidad and Tobago contest. We're still looking for the participants, so contact us at Cocoa Velvet International. We have a Facebook page, Making Style 2014, or Cocoa Velvet International. As well as remember that our show, Making Style, is February 4th at the Shore Park Complex. And tickets are already available at Shore Park Complex box office and the Comfort Inn and Suite front office.
Right, guys, so you have all the information there as it relates to Miss Tobago Beauty Pageant 2024. And before we go over to GMT, there's a video that we have to show in relation to this this Miss Tobago 2024. So stay tuned with us, and after the video, of course, we go straight over to GMT and Tobago Updates Television. Thank you guys for staying with us. We appreciate you very, very much. And remember, this is your opportunity to continue to share the live, share the live, share the live. Stay tuned for a video.
Si tú te quedas conmigo, toda la noche, cerquita de mí, al ritmo de amor y melodía. Donde me pidas yo iré, donde tú vayas llegaré, toda la noche te daré. Calypso, te daré. Calypso, 1, 2, 3, Calypso, 1, 2, 3, Calypso, te daré.
Our legislative history. I enter a gallery of exquisite beauty filled with portraits of legislative history, heritage curated masterfully by prominent propagators of Tobago's democracy, riches of the earth, borderless seas, and the assimilation of needs, framed magnificently to display what defines the Tobagonian and who we aspire to be. The meaning of democracy, it lives in the arms of the young, the feet of the men, and the minds of the women who participate with passion in our evolving society. Passion and deliberate audacity to see change where there is only adversity. My heritage lives in each breath I take when I march for justice at a rally, for the rights of the disabled, for awareness of cancers and lifestyle diseases, for better roads, education system, internal self-government, financial literacy, transparency, and my prayers for God's guidance, because even when we don't find trouble, trouble go find we. Yes, my heritage thrives in those leaders who seek to raise our consciousness in the obedient child, in the teenager driven with passion for life, and the young adult who is brave enough to search for success her way, not held down by doubt or neutered by patriarchal pressure about her identity. When I walk through the halls of this gallery filled with such riches, I am in awe that the people who raised me gave me these things and asked me to take care of them until it is my turn to pass them on. Today we pass on those riches through a series of events that mark December 4th as the day the seat of democracy returned to Tobago. It was the day the Tobago House of Assembly was inaugurated in 1980. The official celebration started in 2010 through a motion in the Assembly legislature by the then Chief Secretary Orville London. At the time, it was called Assembly Day. 5 years later, it was renamed Tobago Day in a motion laid by leader of Assembly Business, Claudia Groom-Duke.
Tobago Day is about drumming up patriotism and a call to duty for all of our people. And so, on this, the 43rd year of the modern Tobago House of Assembly, we have cause to celebrate and to reflect. This, our 43 year in existence of the modern THA, we have an opportunity to tell the rest of this country and to tell the world that Trinidad and Tobago is not just Trini, but there is a Bago component that is equally rich and riveting and has stories to be told. This is a moment for us to pause and tell our stories and to share the stories of the elderly and the people that we love all around us. This is a moment for us to reflect on how the next generation will become even more patriotic, even more Tobago nationalistic than my generation. This is why Tobago Day is important. And for me, celebrating our independence is important, and I'm happy to put on my red, black, and white to celebrate independence every year. But for me, as a Tobagonian, December 4th is equally or even more important than that. I wish to officially declare Tobago Day celebrations 2023 officially open, and we look forward to a great month of December. But more than that, we look forward to all of the roll-on activities post-December 4th that will continuously remind us of who we are and the fact that we ought to be quite comfortable, quite celebratory in the castles of our own Tobago skin.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Time check on Tobago Updates is brought to you by Flow, Tobago's newest fiber network.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video call, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Former Chief Secretary and political leader of the Tobago Council of the PNM, Answer Dennis, accused the THA administration of victimization. Dennis claimed he is entitled to gratuity and pension since leaving office in December 2021, but is yet to receive it. Despite approval being granted in August 2023, he said the Executive Council failed to confirm the decision, causing frustration. Dennis alleged he received no answers when he attempted to follow up with the Assembly legislature. He demanded transparency and a timely resolution of the matter. Up next, Pan Tobago President Beverly Ramsey Moore is appealing to corporate TNT for financial support of steel bands. She recalls the loss of sponsorship since the restructuring of Petrotrin 5 years ago, urging corporate bodies to invest in steel bands. Ramsey Moore comments were in response to Motown Pan Theatre's manager Ralph Sobers, who lamented a lack of sponsorship after 52 years. The Pan body plans to reintroduce regional championships in 2024 and expresses hope that there will be greater prize money in 2025. And finally, the Trinidad and Tobago government has renewed the contract of Central Bank Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire for a third term, despite critics claiming he is a puppet of the Finance Minister, Com Imbert. Hilaire served for 8 years initially and became governor in 2015. In 2020, he advocated for public vetting of central bank appointments and for greater accountability, emphasizing transparency and regular explanations to the public. Under his leadership, the central bank executed demonetization of cotton-based notes during the pandemic and focused on financial literacy, digital currencies, and increasing financial inclusion, calling for reduced bureaucracy in opening bank accounts. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
News in 90 seconds was brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they come with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prizes, cause this season will be the nice day. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most para. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring the sorrel with us to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up, or pay your bills to enjoy the best Tobago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are getting so much closer to Christmas. Things are getting exciting out in the air. And of course, as we're getting caught up, with all the festivities, you want to decorate your homes, you want to put up lights everywhere. And if you're like me, you really love those lights. But, having those lights does come at a cost. Not just the cost of purchasing the lights, but also the cost of electricity. And just to give us an idea of how we can manage our electricity consumption, whether we're decorating or cooking or whatever we're doing. We have been joined this morning by the Corporate Communications Manager of TNTech, Ms. Annabelle Brasnell. Good morning and welcome to you, Ms. Brasnell. How are you?
Good morning, Candice. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity again on the channel to speak about this matter.
Yes, certainly. Now, of course, as you mentioned, you were on last week with Julian and Adana, just giving some tips and so on, but didn't quite get around to giving all the tips. So we're going to get straight into it as to, some of the things that folks need to be aware of as they head into the Christmas season.
Well, one of the key thing actually, as you mentioned at the top, is regarding the purchasing of the lights. When you are getting ready to purchase the lights, we definitely recommend that you use LED lights. If you are in a position to change out your light strings from however long ago that may be incandescent, switching to LEDs uses approximately 80% less electricity than the traditional lights. So LEDs are definitely the way to go when you are doing your Christmas decorations. We also recommend that you monitor and manage how those lights run. So while you're consuming less electricity with LEDs, you don't need to have those lights running if they are not necessary. So perhaps during the night when you're going to sleep, instead of providing lights for the entire neighborhood or just leaving the lights burning inside the house, we recommend that you turn off those lights before you go to sleep. And one good way of doing that actually, because everybody is busy and you have a lot of stuff going on, you might not actually remember to turn off those lights. We recommend from a point of view of energy efficiency, that you consider switching to smart outlets for your plugs. And that doesn't mean that you have to switch out or change out the outlets in your home. You could actually get plugs that can go into your existing outlet, and that would allow you to use a timer so that your lights go off at a set time every night and you don't have to worry about it. Additionally, what you can do is you can utilize power strips, and if you plug in your lights into your power strip, then you can just turn off the power switch and you don't have to worry too much about the remembering to turn off every single light. I know that Christmas decorations have gotten bigger over the years, and some people are using more outdoor lights, outdoor decorations, the inflatables. You want to ensure that you also plug those in perhaps into a power strip so that you can turn off the power strip at one point and just get everything off at the same time every night.
All right. And then when it comes down to other things that we're doing around the Christmas time, we do a lot of baking, a lot of even construction and so on. What are the things that we need to keep in mind as we go ahead? And, even though we're enjoying, we're part of all the merriness and so on, but what are all those things that we need to also consider to make sure that we're not setting up our electricity bill too high come January morning?
So fortunately, we tend to use the gas tanks to cook, but there are people who in fact have electric ovens, electric stoves. And so I would recommend that if you do have an electric stove, when you are baking, you put in anything into that oven, you need to make sure that you're planning your cooking properly. So yes, there are cakes to bake, you have your turkey, you have your ham, you have everything else on the menu. And so the recommendation is that you plan your cooking accordingly so that you can retain the heat in that appliance, and as you take out, you put in another one so that you don't have to keep turning it on, reheating it, and therefore utilizing more electricity in your oven. As it pertains to construction, it really requires awareness and mindfulness when you are working. So you do have to use, if you have to use the pressure washer to clean your yard, you ensure that you plan properly so that you're working at your most efficient and you're not going for longer than you need to. It is also a good time for people to check into appliances and make sure that things are running appropriately because you're using more. So for instance, your water pump, you're using a lot more water. But if you do have something as simple as a leak on a tap, that could be significant enough that it's causing your pump to run more frequently, that is going to increase your electricity consumption. So now is a good time to check into that as well. I would want to talk about overall conservation, not just for this season, in terms of the TNTech energy management application tools that customers could use from now, but going forward to assist them in conserving their electricity. And so the energy management application is a desktop application. It's available on our website. It's available to all customers. Because it has customer data involved in that application, you must be a customer and you have to register to use it through our customer web access portal. But I tell you, once you've started using it, it's really fantastic. The application allows you to set consumption goals. You can set your consumption goals either by dollar value, you can set it by kWh, that's the actual amount of electricity that you're using, or you can set it by greenhouse gas emissions, so that if you're concerned about your electricity usage and the impact on the climate, you can utilize that feature and say, this is what I want to, this is the impact or the size of the footprint that I would like to leave.
All right.
Once you have set your...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Once you've set your goals, we will actually send you emails on a continuous basis throughout the billing period, reminding you of where you're at in your consumption, that you can stay on target in terms of meeting where you want to go. Additionally, you can see your consumption history for the last 24 months, so that you know this is what I used to do, and that actually can help you to plan your goals, you can also see your consumption up to the 24 hours before. So you can see what you did yesterday, and do I need to make any adjustments in my consumption today to make sure that I stay where I want to be.
That's great news to hear, especially for those of us who are wary about the increases that are going to be coming in the next year. And of course, we know that TNTech and they are still doing the background work to determine what those changes are going to be. But in the meantime, you know, I also want to touch a little bit on, as we're purchasing electronical items, whether it's appliances, whether it's devices and so on. I know sometimes there are some concerns about, you know, how much electricity some of these devices and those things use. What should we as consumers look for to know whether or not we're buying a good product in terms of the it uses?
The simplest thing and the least stressful thing that a consumer can do when shopping for appliances is to look for the Energy Star rating. So it usually is a label on the appliance that tells you what the consumption is going to be. It is calculated using US electricity rates, so that it will give you, I think, the dollar value of what the consumption for the year could be, but you would also see the kilowatt hour. But typically, device or an appliance is rated Energy Star, you're safe to do it because it
rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. And viewers, I just want to quickly apologize, first of all, for the little break in our transmission. But we are back and ready to go with the Corporate Communications Officer from TN Tech as we are going through these tips that we need to know, keep in mind as we're going through this season of merriment, and of course that's Miss Annabelle Brasnell. So before we got cut off, we were speaking it's a little bit about what you consumers need to be aware of as you're purchasing, whether it's gadgets, new appliances, and so on. You know what, this is time of Christmas time, you want a new fridge, stove, whatever the case may be. So Miss Annabelle Brasnell, just give us an idea of what we need to be considering as we're purchasing new electronical items.
So thank you, Candice, again. So what I was saying in terms of appliances, whatever your appliances, and particularly the large ones that would consume a lot of electricity, so your stoves, your refrigerators, you need to look for the Energy Star rating. It's a label that is attached to those appliances, and it tells you the amount of electricity that that device is going to use. Typically, once there is the Energy Star rating, that is the most efficient that appliance can be, and you can rest assured that you're buying something that is energy efficient, and would use the least amount of electricity for that type of appliance. From a safety perspective, the recommendation is that if you're buying any electronic items, gadgets, that you look for the UL rating. The UL is Universal Laboratories, and that indicates that it's been tested to certain specifications and the safety is improved on that as opposed to something that does not have a UL rating. That is particularly important when you are doing your lights as well, because remember, you're leaving your lights on for extended periods plugged in, and you want to ensure that you have the safest things available.
All right, great. And, you know, as we're looking ahead to the future and we're talking quite a lot about conserving electricity and so on, people might be thinking maybe it's time to consider some solar-powered items. And just what's your view, what's TNTech's view, I should say, on solar-powered items and so on going forward?
So solar-powered items, in terms of the customer's use of solar-powered items, and by items, I'm talking about small appliances like your pathway lighting, maybe a battery charger. Those things are okay to use. If you're talking about using solar for generation purposes, which I know a lot of people tend to talk about, that actually is a matter that requires legislative oversight and is with the Ministry of Public Utilities right now in terms of determining exactly how individuals can use solar for generation purposes. But in terms of your small appliances, your solar-powered lights, those things are okay.
All right, great. And then as we're getting ready to wrap this morning, is there anything else you would like to add, and anything else that you think that the public should know before we go?
Definitely. From a safety perspective, I want to touch on the issue of decorating the house, the external parts of the home. When you are stringing lights on your roof, the point of entrance, which is where the electricity comes into the home, that is a very dangerous space to be working around. And so if you're going to be installing anything on your roof, if you're doing roof work, if you're scrubbing, if you're changing your guttering, anything that's going to take you close to your point of entrance or to your overhead line, you need to be very careful. Ideally, if you're working and you're doing something that you're carrying very long, large, oversized loads, and you could come close to the overhead line, remember the distance, the safe distance from your overhead line is 15 feet. You don't have to touch the overhead line to be hurt. You need to, if you get close enough, you could be hurt. So 15 feet away from your overhead line. And if you think that your work is going to carry you there, then you need to request a temporary disconnection. You need to be alert and mindful and very careful when working with those kind of large loads. Additionally, the point of entrance, as I said, if you're doing work around the point of entrance, then you need to ensure that that you're working safe and you stay in a safe distance and you don't come into contact with the point of entrance. This is also a time of year where people tend to purchase fireworks and fire lanterns. And we want to be particularly cautious about those things, particularly the fire lanterns, which are called sky lanterns as well. Those things, they look very pretty. We admit that they look pretty, but they pose a danger to electricity infrastructure. They pose a danger to your property, and they pose a danger to animals. If you're going to use those things, you need to use them in an open field, away from any infrastructure where they can come into contact with the infrastructure and cause a fire and harm to life and limb.
All right, certainly. And of course, and as we're speaking about that, Christmas time in Tobago is a time for flying kites. So folks also got to be aware of,
Yes.
flying too close to the overhead lines.
Correct. Yes. Correct. Because what happens with the kites is kites can become entangled in lines and it could create an outage, which would be an outage for your neighbors, and it could also cause you physical harm. So be careful about flying kites and fly them in open areas.
All right. Thank you again, Ms. Annabelle Brasnell, for giving us these few little tips to us to consider as we go off celebrating Christmas this year. So I want to thank you again for being on with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me again, Candace.
Great. Thank you so much. And viewers, don't go anywhere because we've got a lot more coming up for you on the program. We'll be back after this break.
Up and hear my neighbor, 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa-McAl Group.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000s. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prices, cause this season will be the nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parang. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring the sorrow and we toast to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on. This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are switching gears now to talk about some of the things that are happening within our space, especially as it relates to infrastructure. So we are being joined by the Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, and that is Mr. Trevor James. So a special good morning and welcome to you, Mr. James.
Good morning, Candice. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It's always a pleasure to be here, Candice.
All right, and now we're going to get things kicked off because we've got quite a lot to be speaking about this morning, but we're going to get started with what's going on with Friendship Estate and the construction of the road from Sherburne Junction towards Strawberry Local Road. And we know, first of all, there was the injunction filed, but an injunction was lifted. So I want to start with just giving us some details of what happened out of that court case. How did that work out?
Well, as you know, the EMA took out an injunction against the THA for pursuing the road. The court agreed. We went to court, and in the passage of time, the court lifted the injunction, freeing us to continue with the works. The contractor restarted the works, I believe, sometime November. And he's working at pace to complete the road. I think we're going well. The report I have is that they're about 40% complete, and so we expect that early in the new year that road will be completed.
So is there any more concerns where the EMA is concerned? Is there any issues with there? Will we see any other court injunctions or court interventions from the EMA standpoint?
Candice, I've made this point before, and I keep making this point. The EMA is a quasi-government institution. So is the THA. The history of the EMA's interaction with the THA is known in Tobago. The EMA, the majority of the projects executed under the last regime over an extended period the data shows that the majority of them started without EMA submission or approval. The EMA has taken a stance as part of a response to the elections, the results of the elections, to take a stance to delay the projects in Tobago as much as they can as part of the central government's response to the will of the people of Tobago. And we will continue to do our best to treat with that. There is not much that we can do. We've had MOUs with the EMA, we meaning the THA. We've attempted to work together, and we will continue to do that. We are not law-breaking citizens in the THA. We understand the law. We may have a different slant in our appreciation of our responsibility under the law that gives us the authority over the environment. We may have a difference of opinion with the EMA, but certainly we believe that both entities should be working together for the development of Tobago, and we will continue to do our best to do that.
Now, there are some concerns with the construction of that road, and that is in relation to some of the historical heritage that's present in that area. There was a concern that a 100-year-old chattel building was destroyed recently in the process. I wanted to get some perspective on you as to what's going on, what happened there. Was there a breakdown in communication?
I don't know if there was any destruction of any 100-year-old building on the site. Mm-hmm. We must understand that the state of Trinidad and Tobago purchased the site, and the state, in purchasing the site, cleared the site of all encumbrances. That's the law. Everyone else that returned to the site thereafter are squatters. Every building, every tree down there belongs to the state. The THA is part of the governance infrastructure of the state of Trinidad, and the THA, under the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, has certain rights, and we exercise those rights as we have been given the mandate of the people. Now, there are some historical buildings. There is, in fact, a sugar mill and so on, which the judgment was clear that we as a THA should take certain steps with the EMA to ensure that those are preserved, and we are in fact taking those steps. I don't think, I'm sure, if those were under threat, the EMA would have been making a big stink about it. No other building that was mentioned in the order from the court in lifting the injunction that was meant to be preserved has been destroyed.
But what's the division's position when it comes to, balancing development with the need to preserve some of our historical sites, buildings, ruins, whatever the case may be?
No, generally, I mean, this issue will arise. It has arisen in the conversations, in the consultations with the Bay of Scarborough. This issue will continue to arise, and I think we have demonstrated that we will be responsible. I mean, we came out before even getting into office to say, for example, that we will lift the wrecks in the bay and preserve them. I think as a government, we understand the need to build out a tourism infrastructure around the heritage that we have, and we have not taken and will not take any action to destroy what we believe to be heritage sites around the island. Our intent is to develop them and preserve them. On this estate, there are a couple of sites which we will preserve.
And also, what happens? What's been going on in terms of the conversation with even the people that are residing in the area? I know you refer to them as squatters, but I just again want to get some perspective, because from my understanding, there are some people that are unhappy with the way things are going, and not too sure what's going to come out of it, but we're just trying to understand, from the division's perspective, what's happening there.
No, we have been responsible. All of Tobago has to take piece of the responsibility. We will do our best to ensure that people who are occupying the estate now, who will be displaced by this development and future developments to come on the estate, that we will do our best to take care of them. I know the Chief Sec is on record as saying that farmers who are there will be given lands elsewhere and so on. And I think that type of action will continue. The goal is not to take a living away from somebody, whether they've been squatting or not. But we all have to be reasonable in what we expect. There is this idea that squatters have more rights than law-abiding citizens. There are hundreds of Tobagonians looking for pieces of land for years and can't get a piece. What gives a squatter more rights to the heritage that belongs to the people of Tobago than the other Tobagonian who has been keeping the law? So we have to find a balance. No doubt, the different arms of the THA dealing with this. The Division of Infrastructure is not specifically mandated to move people around on state lands and so on. And I'm sure we'll continue to have the conversations to ensure that we are making the best decision for all concerned.
So what does that balance look like?
Well, what we have said is that as a government, we would try to relocate farmers who are there and persons who have been occupying the estate. That's not our division's responsibility per se. We have initiated the conversations with the Land Management Division and the Office of the Chief Secretary and so on. And I know that will be an ongoing process. We are in the process now of trying to relocate one of the guys and paying a rental property for him and all of that. So we're going to make this as humane as we can, as we ought to, and we hope that generally the majority of Tobago benefits from the action that we take.
No, I mean there's the horse stables and that sort of thing that's there. Would that be allowed to continue, or is it that's part of the moving the farmers and so on?
I believe with the developments we have in mind, the horse stables will be relocated. Again, that's a discussion that is taking place at another level. When those decisions are taken, it will be communicated. But personally, I want to say that the people generally of Tobago have more rights than squatters. and ought to have more rights than squatters.
Okay, and then of course, when it comes to even the designs of the roads and that sort of thing, there were some concerns, some questions raised, and I just wanted you to give just clarity as to, you know, how did that project come about, the contractor, how was the contractor engaged, and that sort of thing.
We've gone through this exercise so many times, Candice. We are here again trying to respond to frivolous claims from persons who have sat in the seat of government in Tobago, in my opinion, illegally took decisions out of the division by a secretary that was illegally allowed to continue to act as secretary during the 6-6, and notes that went to the executive council, so-called at the time, that was ratified by the chief secretary, all of which will be proven to be illegal, where they committed hundreds of millions of dollars, for which we have been saddled with now to repay, and being hamstrung by a central government that refuses to give us the monies even to investigate. That is why we are here being bogged down by frivolous questions, not only by this gentleman on Facebook who make these claims as though he's been advised by some engineering person, but in the House as well. The truth is that this is a design, build, finance project where the payment is going to be delayed 9 months after completion. The THA has spent no money so far. The staff at the division is in fact supervising the work. Every day we have engineers and project people on the site signing off on completion and test on completion as works progress. The designs have been accepted, submitted and accepted. All the tests are in, compaction tests, proctor density, and so on. And people are just scared at the pace of which we continue to work. And we will deliver this road again in record time. Whether they go to the EMA, whether they go to the court, we will complete the road in record time, and the people of Tobago will benefit, because we have suffered so long in Tobago with the lethargy of persons who take instructions from Trinidad of what they should do and could do and what they did. And we will continue to move as independently as we can. We will continue to engage procurement methodologies that help to move the island forward, whether we have money or we don't. And we will continue to take these actions so that the people of Tobago can see real development and not just maintenance work as the budget is designed to do. And we ask the people of Tobago to support these actions, because without these development projects, the island simply cannot move forward. There is this question of local content and all of this kind of thing. The information I have suggests that they've employed more than 140 local people on the site, from truckers to equipment operators. They have staff coming from Trinidad who are paying rent in guest houses and buying food and all of that. That's the reality. When you compare that to the airport project that is being run from Trinidad, and you ask about local content down there, and you would see what the difference in this story really is.
And we will get into that conversation quite a little bit more when we come back after the break. So don't worry, viewers. We got more of Trevor James after the break, so stay with us.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development has relocated its Crown Point office to Glen Road in Scarborough to better serve you, our clients. Our main office is located at the corner of Glen Road and Glen Road Branch number 1, the building formerly occupied by Coastal. Our grant and electrical inspectorate services can be accessed at number 2 Montessori Drive in Glen Road, building 1 and 2.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our conversations this morning with the Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, and that is Mr. Trevor James, as we discuss quite a bit of what's happening in our space here this morning. Now we're going to move on to what's been happening with the construction of the new airport terminal. And so, Mr. James, what can you share with us of what's happening? Of course, we know that this is something that's being done by central government and not the THA. So, has there been any conversations between the government and the THA as to what's going on with that?
As a government, officially, I would say no. China Railway did make a request of the division to facilitate some of the work they were doing on the site. As part of facilitating, we asked for a copy of the designs, and we are fortunate now in the division to have a copy of the full 100% designs. We will consider whether we would share some of those with the public. I'm going through the designs myself. It will be shared with the engineers and the engineering project management team at the division. We have concerns. I've always expressed my concerns. Since getting into office, I have tempered my concerns and expressions of my concerns in the public. But there are concerns on the design that we are going to end up with. We hope, we've requested meetings with NIDCO, with the Ministry of Finance. And we hope that at some point in the new year, we would have a fruitful discussion and we'll begin to participate in the project. No doubt, as end users, the people of Tobago expect their representatives to be fully on corral with the project so that we participate in it in the end. This idea that because there's a change of government in Tobago, that somehow you're not PNM, so you must stay out. We represent the people. And, a lot of us got displaced from down there. People are still reeling under all of these years of no money to rebuild and rental payments that exhaust all the monies that they had and so on. People are still reeling. We are still reeling and from trying to complete the project that was started to place them on Shervan and Cove.
And what is
because
it
the
costing?
contractor
What is
walked
it
off.
costing the THA in terms of being able to sort of help all these people that have to be relocated?
A lot of money, a lot of time. We took a decision in the executive council to build 50 units for those who are less able. Even that, the funds to do that has not shown itself yet, and we continue to try to do the best that we can for the people. And no doubt, the people expect us to represent them as the project is being built out. From the division, we continue to supply China Railway with aggregate and so on for the site, significant quantities actually. And we continue to do it, and we will continue to do that. We have concerns, but we want to see the project progress, and whatever we can do as a division, as a THA, progress the project, we will. We hope that those in Trinidad will begin to treat us with respect and courtesy and so on. But that's a thing that will play out in the public, and the public will judge for themselves and come down on whichever side the public wants to come down on. But no doubt, the THA is a major stakeholder. The THA should be in the project meetings, every meeting be represented, and we will continue to ask for that in the new year.
And what are some of the concerns you have even about the designs of the building and so on?
Well, I don't think we appreciate that the most expensive asset that we have in Tobago is when one of those big planes land in Tobago. That is the most expensive asset that is on the ground in Tobago at that point in time. There is no airport I can think of, no decent airport around the world I can think of, where you can have almost access to a plane from a thoroughfare. I mean, every design I have seen places car park and buildings and roads way away from the tarmac. This design seems to bring airplanes 20-30 feet from the main road. So that is a concern. There is a concern of refueling it. The original 60% designs that I saw at the time did not seem to include piping fuel from the tank farm underground to the new tarmac, which meant that there was some consideration of trucking fuel around as we did back in the 80s. So that was some of the concern. There was a concept that I saw where they were going to put a tank farm on this side of the runway, but east of the terminal building. And anybody with any sense will know that's a disaster waiting to happen. You can't put fuel east of the terminal in the Tobago Northeast Trade Winds context. If there's a trauma at any one of those tanks, the entire terminal is under threat. So there are some concerns that I saw, but we'll continue to go through the 100% design thoroughly as we can, and if we are not approved to meet with the Ministry of Finance and the NEDCO and so on, we will write that in the public and write them publicly.
And have you been able to even communicate with the residents in the area, especially those that are so close to the construction? Because, I mean, we're not too sure what's going to happen with them if there might be a situation where they might have to be relocated. Like, has there been any reaching out even from those residents? Are they concerned?
Well, this is a design build project, and I would expect that NIDCO, now that they have 100% complete design, will in fact share that with the public and receive comments from the public on the design. It must be that the public that will be affected by the project, you would want to get buy-in from that public. And certainly if I'm living north of Strawberry Local Road in the vicinity of the airport, then certainly I have a right to know at least what the design is and what are the attendant risks to my living here, which I've been living for the last 100 years. And I think NITCO and the Ministry of Finance has a duty to people of Tobago and present the design and explain it and explain the logic behind the design so that people in Tobago can buy into the project as end users.
All right. So we're switching up now to what's going on with the Scarborough redevelopment project, and you would have sent out, or at least made public, all the feasibility studies and so on. And then we heard the Prime Minister complaining about the 2,000-page document that he received and that sort of thing. What's the latest where that's concerned?
Well, we are negotiating now with an entity who has expressed an interest to finance and build a project. We've issued a letter of intent. The team at the division, headed by staff at the division, continue to work assiduously to bring home this project to the people of Tobago. The information I have is that there will be a massive launch of the project early February, and the people of Tobago can look forward to that. In between that launch and now, we will schedule several meetings with all the stakeholders from Port of Spain who we feel will impact the project in some way, including the EMA, the Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, the various ministries of tourism and works and all of that. And we will attempt to find a way to ensure that we have buy-in of the central government. Because a project like this requires that we bring the central government to the table in a meaningful way. And again, as responsible government in Tobago, we will attempt to do that.
Are you concerned that you may not get the support of the government because from what the Prime Minister stated on previous political platforms, he indicated that you may or may not?
Well, listen, I think that developing Tobago is a benefit to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And from where I sit, I see no reason why a government will not support this project. There is actually no negative to the project. And political posturing on platforms and so on is one thing. But from where I sit, I cannot see a prime minister born in Tobago not supporting this and not giving and not instructing the various arms of the government to come behind this thing 100%. I just can't see that. And so being head of the division that is leading the project, we will do all that we can in a mature way as possible to treat with the risk that we see, and we hope that we would be able to resolve issues that arise and work together when working together is necessary.
But is there any sort of game plan, any sort of contingency plan in case they do not have that support?
There is always that. I mean, this project, the way we have designed the project, we have designed the project so that the revenue generating arms of the project will pay for the other aspects of the project. That will minimize the impact on the THA revenue, the THA subventions, sorry. And so we don't see a need for the central government to finance aspects of the project. If they come on board and we can negotiate something, then all the power to both of us. But we are pursuing the project as if they won't, because we have a suspicion that they won't.
Okay.
And so far, things are moving nicely. We hope to roll all this out, like I said, early February. So you'll probably see aspects of it in the month of January going up. And we are excited, and the people of Tobago should be excited. This is one of the things we ran on, and we hope to deliver some parts of it, certainly in our first term.
Okay. And can we get a little hint as to what might be one of the first parts of that project to be implemented?
Well, no, we are negotiating the schedule now, going back and forth to ensure that when the agreement comes and we move to another stage in the procurement process, that we have in fact approved a baseline schedule that we can share with the people that makes sense. And the team now is going back and forth with the team of the developer. And I would be made public shortly. Yeah.
All right, great. So we're certainly looking forward for that in the new year. That's coming. Quite a lot of things that we can see. And, as we're getting ready to wrap, we just got about a minute left. I just want to give you a chance because I think this might be the last time we have you on for the year.
Indeed.
So.
I think I want to say to the people of Tobago that when we came into office, we knew that we will be judged at a different level to the past administration. At the Division of Infrastructure, we attempted to show that we can expedite the delivery of construction projects. The road here in the back, the steps at King Peter Bay were but examples. We wanted to show that we can master the art of maintenance. I think we are getting better. The road repair resurfacing crew is getting better. Hopefully in the new year we'll get some new equipment as well. And so we wanted people to look at the bigger picture, to look at the governance picture, to look at the autonomy picture, the development picture, and not focus ourselves on potholes and sidewalks and drains.
Although those things are important, but
because those things we would have demonstrated that we are on the business of doing that, and we are. We don't have the resources as we would like to pursue BlackRock. What is it? BlackRock, Bethel, BlackRock, I think. BlackRock Wim, I think. Lowlands and Crown Point.
All right, great.
And so we would see more work in that area. I know that there are a lot of roads and mishaps and stuff in that area that we've been complaining about. But our goal for the first half maybe of next year is to focus on those 4 districts and to ensure that we are bringing relief to the people as we move forward.
All right, well, and thank you so much, Mr. James, for being on with us and for giving us your perspective on all these things that are going on. And we certainly have a lot to look forward into in 2024.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank the people of Scarborough Mount Grace for allowing me the opportunity to serve and represent them. All
right, viewers, and that's how we're going to wrap this morning's conversation on GMT. And I hope you have a safe and wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
To a brand new dawn, and that's the passion start to rise.